Friday the 13th, Part 5. 4 was not the final chapter. It's pretty much. I looked into it. I'm like, what exactly did happen? Why did they do final chapter and then come back with it? And it's the reason is exactly what we all think the reason.
They made money.
They made a lot of money. They made a bunch of money.
It's Jason the final chapter asterisk until the next one.
Right? Unless we make a certain amount of money.
Unless you see it.
It made $33 million. Did Part 4. $33 million on a $2.6 million budget. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Movies were so different back in 1984.
So cheap back then too. Like my goodness.
If they made a movie for $2 million today, everybody'd be like, "Look at this low budget YouTube video."
Right. Yeah. Goodness.
It's like they couldn't afford one good looking person with $2 million. It's a bunch of uggos.
The other question that I had is like, whose idea was it? Like the plan with Jason, and it came from the studio. Basically, it was the idea they're kind of testing the waters with turning this into either an anthology type thing, where it would be a different story in each one, or just kind of a passing the torch, passing the mask off to Tommy Jarvis, and that's one of like what's his name? I got it written down. It's Daniel, I think is his first name, Steinman, who was the director and co-writer of it. Like the studio told him his job was, you had one job, or actually had two jobs. One was to turn Tommy into the killer by the end of the movie, and the other one was to have a kill every 7 to 8 minutes, which is what I think really is like the defining characteristic of this movie. Like I think part of the thing when I watch this, I'm like, it has so many kills, but it is also it's one of the most redacted by the MPA of anybody. Like it's really chopped up from the MPA. There's never been like an uncut raw edition that's put out. So maybe when they do the
dream of my life is to get London by Midnight to be found. The Lon Chaney silent film Lost.
It's not where I thought you were going with that.
My second dream is to find the uncut footage
of this
from Friday 5. Man,
I think it's like a supposedly there is some of it out. Some of it exists that you can find. I think probably on YouTube. And then it's rumored that a bunch of it is destroyed too, which is the case for a few of these movies, which is such a shame. They just didn't know what they had. They didn't understand that like 40 years later, men would gather on YouTube in little boxes and talk about it and wear silly masks and shit.
Yeah, men used to gather around fire, and now they gather out here.
We should totally blame them for not anticipating that we would all be here tonight talking about Jason Part 5.
Right. What bunch of dicks.
Speaking of the violence,
Jason Part 5. No Jason.
Like, am I the only one who is it like there's a lot of eye stuff in this one? Like a lot of eye stuff, and I was like, ooh, that's like one of the things that really gets me.
Films, right?
Well, you know what? That kind of brings me into the other point. Link, when I hit you up, I watched it a few nights ago. I've seen it, a handful of times at least. Watched it a few nights ago and like really loved it. I'm the type that I go back and forth on a movie when I watch it. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for it, and I was just eating it up a couple nights ago, just late at night, watched it, loved it. And I think part of the reason why I like enjoyed it more than I normally do is because of our whole Road to Halloween thing that we did, like really deep diving the proto slashers and the giallo films and all that, like studying their influence on the 80s slashers and watching this with that in mind and thinking of it as a giallo film or a murder mystery slasher, which is pretty much what a giallo is. It makes it a lot better. Because it's like, you know what I mean? This is the type of movie I think a lot of times when people throw it on, they're not like us. They're not like studying these things. And they just like throw it on and they're like, what the fuck? Where's Jason? And it's bullshit. But it's like, I don't know, watching it with all that in mind, I really appreciated what they did. Not that it's brilliant in any way, not with the mystery, but there is something there. There's something interesting there. Even the way that they held off on showing Jason in the mask for so long could be super annoying. A lot of people hate that, but I kind of respect it at this point. And
I get it for its time, right? And obviously the producers of this film didn't watch Halloween 3, right? Or notice the response to that, just as the people who worked on Halloween Ends never watched New Beginning. So there you go.
What up, chat? What up, Rogue? What up, Moses Dopers? Appreciate you guys. SoCal Daniel, son of a bitch. You guys stick around. We'll be playing some trivia in just a little bit. And then the last thing I want to say, I'll pass it off to you, Robbie, is like another reason why it's a very different experience for me now, like making masks for a couple years and watching these movies. I've made like 3 Roy masks since watching this movie. So then watching it, like every time they show the mask, I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm like studying the mask. I'm seeing it better than the pictures that I see online. Whoa, I broke my mic again. but it, I don't know. It really affects my viewing of the film. So Robbie, talk long enough for me to fix my microphone, please. Please hype up this movie.
Oh, I will. So there's my copy of it right there. Same copy you have from the Scream Factory Friday the 13th box set. I love part 5. I've always loved part 5. And part 5 is the hated one. It's the one that nobody likes. But I have to stand here and tell y'all, I don't know what y'all are going to feel or vibe with this movie, right? But all I'm saying is this. I think Friday the 13th, part 5, A New Beginning, is the second best film in the entire franchise. This is where the franchise kind of understands what it's supposed to be, right? It knows that it needs a kill every so often. It knows that it needs to have teenagers having sex. Now, we've had 4 movies leading up to this. And I understand why people didn't like this movie when it came out. There's no Jason. I would argue that Jason is in this movie. He's just the dream Jason.
There you go.
Right?
I love that too. So many masks.
Yeah, and it's the middle part of, to me. So we talk about this all the time. Like let me take the Jason fandom and compare it to Star Trek fandom. Okay, Star Trek fans, we all love the movies. We love all of them, even the shitty ones like Final Frontier and Nemesis. We tell you we don't, but we do, because we just want more Star Trek, right? Just like we want more Jason. I was talking to my girlfriend about this earlier. She was asking me about all the franchises. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. I interjected and explained in way more detail than I needed to the Hellraiser franchise to her this morning. But like, this was a thing where I said this. I was like, not every Friday. I was like, honestly, I don't like every Friday the 13th movie. Honestly, I don't like every Halloween movie. Honestly, I don't like every Elm Street movie. But I will buy every one they do, and I will watch them multiple times because I love being a fan of Jason more than I love the movies involving Jason, right? I am such a sucker. Not a sucker. I'm such a lover of slasher franchises that I think Jason's one of the best. And what I love about this movie is it delivers to me exactly what I want and expect from a Jason movie. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. The number one thing I love and expect from a Jason movie is not Jason. We should have had that established in issue number 1, in episode number 1, movie number 1. We're not talking about a TV show or a comic book, but in movie number 1, we've already had it elaborated to us that Jason's not the killer. We get him in 2, we get full on Jason in 3, and then he dies in part 4. I love this because it starts the trilogy within the franchise of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, right? Yeah. Between Final Chapter, this, and Jason Lives. A great moment where within this franchise of ridiculousness, in the midst of awesomeness, we get a through line for pretty much the first time. I know that Alice is the final girl in part 1. She is the first victim of part 2, but outside of that, there is no connective tissue from this point through these movies, except for the fact that, like, the dude in part 4 says, "My sister got killed by Jason."
Right. And then he says, "He's killing me. He's killing me."
Oh my God. He's slashing me right now, inch by inch through the throat. Anyway.
By the way, this happened to my sister.
Yeah. I'm rambling. I love this movie because it gives us what we want. It gives us sex, nudity, and kills at the exact right moments. It's also a movie that takes itself seriously enough because it is diving into, for the first full time in a slasher franchise, especially with Friday the 13th, diving into the idea of what is the after effect of this happening to another person,
Mm.
right? We don't really get that in Friday the 13th Part 2 because Alice dies at the very, very beginning. But here we get the start of Tommy's been through some shit. He's not right. I love the halfway house. I love the, like the house for troubled teens, all the different characters. I love all of that. I love Tommy being a part of a main part of the story, though I would dare anybody to tell me who the main character of this fucking movie is.
Right, great point.
But I love
Demon. It's the enchilada.
It's the
yeah. I love the continuation of the Friday series more so than we've gotten in the past, with how the effects of Part 4 are still a part of Tommy's journey in Part 5. And I love that they kind of deliver on that in Part 6 as well. Anyway, why do I love Part 5? It's funny. It's got the best tits in the movies. It's got great kills.
They're up
and
there.
yeah, it's not Jason spoilers. It's Roy and all that. Let me be honest with you. That is all lame. It's all stupid. It's all dumb. But you know what? I love the fuck out of it, dude. I love this fucking movie. I don't even need to say anything, Verno. I love this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody else who disagrees with me is wrong, and I hope I kick your ass in trivia later.
I love it. I love that. That's why you were first. You got
This
to be the
is
one
the
that.
most fun of these movies for me to watch. There you
It
go.
is very fun. I love that you made it seem like high art though. That's why I fucking love you, bro. I love
That's
that.
awesome. That was a
DJ
great
plays favorites. What up, man? Appreciate you. Stick around. Classic. Appreciate you, man. We'll be getting into some trivia just a little bit. You're gonna be winning a mask, my friend. I have a feeling. But Link, had you seen this one?
No, I don't think I had. I got this one confused with 4. That's the one I was expecting to go into. But Connects is the sequel to it. But I enjoyed it. Don't know if it's my favorite, but I think it's probably the most unique, different, or one of the most unique and different in the franchise. I did kind of appreciate you telling me to go into it with the Giallo lens.
Hell yeah. I love that. I figured that would help, bro. Yeah.
Because it really was. A lot of the scenes are like, I mean, they do it a lot in the first one as well, but maybe the first one was influenced by Giallo. But it's like you don't know who's killing who. It's all like up close, the first one, it's like here comes the airplane kill. Where he puts the flare in the dude's mouth and shit. You don't know who's doing it initially at first with a bunch of these kills.
Right.
So
Which again is just like a part 1. You don't see the killer until the Betsy Palmer reveal at the end. It's all the exact same as
that
this.
air mystery though. And I do think Robbie phrased it well when he said this one takes itself seriously enough, because I remember there's a scene in 4 where it's just Jason was doing something and I heard that that music in the background, the Monty Python shit. But I digress.
That Benny Hill shit,
Benny,
man.
That'll work.
Thank you. But yeah, this one was fun. Did have quite a few kills. I didn't peep that until you brought it up, Verno. Like every 7 to 8 minutes, because I was just like, there's some.
I think it's like 20 kills. I think it's the most in the franchise up till this point. I'm almost
positive. It's more than he's killed in the past 4 movies combined.
Yeah, and people like to argue there's more nudity in Part 4 than Part 5. But most of that nudity is like an old school stag film.
Yeah,
this is the most nudity of the cast
with the guys sitting there laughing. That's like the most annoying thing in the franchise, when the guys laughing watching porn. It's like, I don't know why it irks me so.
There's so many scenes in here that are so bad they're good though. Where it's like when dude's on the couch talking about how he's ready to make love, or when the kid opens the fucking closet and he sees all the dead bodies, and the chick, she's like, "What's wrong, Tommy? Tell me what's wrong." It's just like,
they'll skip that first one though, Link, where that dude's like, I want to make love.
You know what? One thing I noticed this time, and I could be tripping, but like when the counselor lady, like the final girl, which is one of the weak parts of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
If that's our.
By the way,
girl,
I count her tits as being tits seen in this movie because
from the rain.
Yes.
Fair enough. I'll make a note. Okay. 2 tits. I forgot to mark those down. But I think she's the She's the weakest final girl that we've had. Oh, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, it's
Camp
gone.
counselor sucks.
Sucks
Final
what?
girl.
Oh.
Well,
Girl,
that's
not the best final
that's
girl.
final girl.
It'll come back. Did you have any more, my brother?
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's definitely the more unique of the ones I've seen.
Hell
But
yeah. What up,
I think
Evan?
I only have 6 to go.
You guys in the chat, if you guys are gonna be playing trivia, this is the man to watch out for. He's got some knowledge and some wicked fast Wi-Fi.
Definitely.
So he's already won
Mm.
two of these, Evan.
Are those
Yeah, he says-
on-screen kills, Evan?
Says there's 21 kills if you can include the dream sequence of the two guys at the beginning. It's her birthday. What up,
Happy birthday.
Cynthia?
Happy
Appreciate
birthday.
you. It's your birthday.
Woo!
Appreciate you being here. Stick around. We're gonna have some fun playing some trivia just a little bit. I'm already having fun. But Spicy Red, my dude, what have you seen this one? What's your experience with or your history with it?
I had seen this one. So I think I said last time when I got to Friday the 13th, it was that awkward time in movies when my local video store closed, but streaming wasn't really a thing like yet. So I had to like scour the internet, and my favorite's part 6. And I watched part 1 through 4. And I was like, this one was the hardest one to find. I remember I watched like a really grainy quality. So I was finally saw it, and like this one for me, I kept thinking it's like because I love long form media. Things that like just last for so long, and it's just cool how you see it evolve. And Friday the 13th is an excellent example, like how Jason's not the villain in the first one, and I think this one they're figuring it out still in this movie. You know,
Which is
they
crazy.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a Jason trilogy after the first one, and they're just trying to see like, okay, so we killed Jason. What do we do now? And that's really exciting. And also like, that's where I feel like a lot of art can thrive when they're trying to figure out what a long form thing can be, you know? But for me, I think there's a lot of interesting things in this movie, and on this watch, I didn't really think it all came together, but there's a lot of different ideas, and I loved hearing like you guys talk about like all the things that you did. I was like, oh yeah, I like that, but for me, it didn't all click together.
For sure.
I loved how it had kind of the Jaws mentality of you don't see the killer, you know, and it's that kind of leads you to be like, oh, could it be Tommy? Could it be this person? Could it just be that guy who was chopping wood then got arrested? Was he really arrested? And I love it. Kind of does follow the first movie from what I remember, because in the first movie, you know, it's funny because, you know, Pamela Voorhees is like such a figure now, but she just kind of shows up out of nowhere in the end of the first movie, and this one kind of does the same thing. It's just like, by the way, this is why he did it. Turns out he was reading. Here's all these newspaper clippings. Here's his wallet. Here's some evidence, and this is why he did it. Like, and I wish Roy was in the background more. You know,
right.
I wish like
What's
I wish
crazy
when
is when
Tommy
you
was
rewatch
being.
it, when you rewatch it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
in the first act, they put a lot of scenes of Roy going,
Huh? What?
but like none of us think about that shit.
Right. It's so funny. It makes
I love
rewatches
it.
really funny. Like
I love
of
it because
that.
he's not really a character, but they go out of their way to say his name every time. And I wish they did more of that. Like, I wish when the guy had the enchiladas and ran to the porta potty, like Roy came out and was like, "I'm Roy, by the way." He's like, "I don't give a shit," you know? Like,
Because he's like,
I
you're
really
Roy.
wish-
You're
Yeah.
That's what's great is that like they do that shit and like I don't know, man. It's so fucking funny to me because when you rewatch the movie, you're like, it's so obvious they're
Right.
trying to set this
Have
dude
you
up
ever
as a
seen-
potential killer.
You know
It's
the
so
you know
funny.
the thing that they'll do where they'll have like a bunch of people. Now watch this group of people passing a ball around and count how many balls are there. And you're counting the balls and then watch it again. Did you see the gorilla? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I've seen that.
You'll watch
I've
it
seen that
again
one,
and you'll
yeah.
realize that there
Right.
was a gorilla in the middle the whole time. Roy is the gorilla in this movie.
Roy
He's
is
there.
absolutely the gorilla, and I think it's for me. This movie, like, I can totally see how people. I totally see how people hate it. I totally see how people love it. It's kind of just doing a bunch of different things. And if it doesn't click for you, you probably hate it. But if it does click for you, it's really interesting and very unique, especially for like a blockbuster.
Right.
And I think it's like for me, because 6 is my favorite. For me, all the things in 6, I wish this did a little bit. I wish this had a little more comedy. Like when we got to the mental house institution, I kind of the way those characters were with Joey and those two people that keep sneaking off and having sex. I weirdly thought of that Johnny Knoxville movie, The Ringer. I was like, this should be more like The Ringer. They should definitely lean. When the fuck did we get ice cream? Like, I wish they leaned more into it. But I think it was a really good time. I thought it was really fun. Like I said, it's kind of the middle child movie in this Tommy Jarvis trilogy. I don't think the guy that plays Tommy Jarvis is anywhere near as charming as in the 6th movie, but he's not supposed to be.
Right.
But damn, he worked out hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was cut, man.
It's pretty shredded.
Yeah.
This dude didn't have to, they were like, you can be in this movie, but you don't have to say anything. You just have to do some kung fu moves every random.
When he was in the mirror, I was like, oh, there we go. The
Roy should have walked in the bathroom.
But like, I'm Roy.
He should have just walked past, be like, "Oh, 2 guys are fighting. I'm Roy." If anyone asks. But yeah, it's a perfect middle child movie. It's weird. It's awkward in a way that's really interesting, and it's a movie. I love how the studio was like, we have to continue Friday the 13th, but we can't. They insisted on having a realism of not bringing Jason back to life, of doing a copycat killer. That's so interesting to me, because to me, like, growing up, I remember Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X being like theaters, like, like the marquee stands and everything. So for me, Friday the 13th has always had a supernatural element to me, and it's very funny to look back and be not only a time where there wasn't there, but a time when they refused to even indulge in that for a movie. They're like, no, it has to be realistic. We need Roy. He's the key to all of this.
Yeah, they're like, no, Jason is dead, y'all.
Yeah,
he's dead.
People
forever.
don't come back, even though he died in the first movie and came back in the second. This doesn't happen twice.
I was thinking of it earlier. It's like remember when they canceled Twinkies a few years ago?
And then they came back.
Everybody that hadn't had a Twinkie in a decade was like, "What? They did what?" That's what it was like when they got rid of Jason.
Back, though.
They did, and Jason wasn't the same when he came back either. He was a little bit
slightly different.
That's the other thing I was thinking is it took 6 movies. I feel like after this is when you get like the iconic, not like part 4 and 3 aren't iconic, but like what people think of in the public,
the unstoppable monster,
what Jason is, zombie
Jason,
supernatural Jason isn't there until 6 movies deep. It's just a weird ass thing. Real quick, I remember what I was going to say earlier. That bit when the counselor, or they find those bodies in Tommy's room, which that's a whole thing that we got to get into at one point in this. I saw an amazing theory, Robbie. I hope you're there and you can hear this. That Tommy really is the second killer in this movie. And this dude went and broke it all down and set it all up. It's like it makes a shit.
Tommy was gone until for a minute, until the very last
right. And the other thing is, okay, so we're to believe. I'll circle back to that. Let me get to the fucking counselor point. When the chick walks in the room, and after she's told that those bodies are in there, she goes like out of sight of the camera. The way that they're shooting that is to make you think that she's about to turn around and be the killer. Like, I'm convinced of that now. They're setting up the idea that this is going to be the big reveal. And she walks in there, and then like there's like a pause where you're supposed to think, oh, it's about to happen. And then she comes out and it does it. I'm almost positive that it was intentional. Whether it's successful or not, because nobody really would notice that, is up for debate. But finally, I've got that out. Remember, we got to circle back to that Tommy theory in a bit, but I want to get to the trivia over after not too long. But Wes, what'd you think? Had you seen this one, and what'd you think?
Yeah, I've seen this one. I don't. It's probably my least favorite in the whole series. I don't hate any of them. I still have a lot of fun watching all of these movies, but this one is like the one I put it on and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one without Jason, whatever. It's just gonna play and it's gonna be on and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna laugh at a few parts and I'm gonna enjoy the kills and then it's gonna end and I'm gonna be like, oh, thank God it's over. But putting it in the Gallo, I've never thought about it in the Gallo lens before. So next time I watch it, I'm definitely gonna watch it in that lens, because that actually is really kind of a really interesting way to look at the movie, because it really is kind of shot like that. It's not quite as colorful as like a lot of Giallos that you might know, but
do you remember the shot where it's I can't think of her name, but the waitress that they kill outside of the restaurant?
Yeah.
And her body's there. Like when they pull away from there, it's all like it's really colorful. That's the most feeling moment to me.
I would say so. Yeah. That and I think that kind of puts it in a different context. But I also can't disagree, even though I might disagree with how Robbie feels about the movie overall. I can't disagree with many of the points he's made. It does kind of have that like transitional period. You know, it has that challenge of being like the new beginning. It has that challenge, like, and it does kind of take things that the first, you know, 3 or 4 movies did, and then it also bridges into what the next few movies were going to do, which is add the humor and add some of the cheesier elements, which, you know, I think have come to become really iconic in the series.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I've gained a little bit more appreciation just hearing all the different viewpoints that everybody here has shared.
What's your second least favorite?
What's my second least favorite?
Yeah.
Good question.
Wow, Goes to Hell, probably.
Okay, I think that's the worst. I used to love it. I rewatched that a few years ago and was crushed by how many good memories I had by that. I was like, this can't be the same movie I watched as a kid.
It's
I'm
one
not
of
the
those
biggest fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of Goes to Hell either. But
Yeah,
I
Goes to
will
Hell.
say this:
best kills.
Great
Friday
title.
the
Great
13th.
Eating the
title.
Heart. I love that.
Friday the 13th is kind of a holiday to a lot of us.
Yeah.
Right? We watch Jason movies, or we gather here on Verno's channel to talk about Jason movies. But a lot of people I know and people I don't know, they gather on Friday the 13th, watch a marathon of Jason movies, and you know what they eat? Enchiladas. Why do they eat enchiladas? Because of the importance of this movie.
I mean, I can't disagree. Like the enchilada, that's the whole scene with those characters, those 3 characters, the young brother, the older brother, the girlfriend. That is absolutely one of my favorite scenes in the entire franchise. Despite,
Are you gonna get it, bitch?
yes, but despite this being like one of my least favorite, like those characters are the most fun in the franchise.
They
and,
are.
and some of the most
They are.
memorable characters.
I
I would
in that
love a
clip-
spin-off
I love in
about
that
how they
clip-
got there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it, bitch, and then you hear the zipper
Right.
without context.
I love that he says it twice.
You're gonna get it, bitch.
But
two
with
times.
context, we know that he's zipping up. But without context, it seems like he might be zipping down.
It's awful. It's far more menacing.
That's funny. All right. Jake, put you in the spot now. You've had 5 people go through this thing. Is there anything possibly left to say about Friday the 13th Part 5? But Ed, you had seen it before. This wasn't your first watch, right?
No, I've seen it probably a couple times. It's been a while since I've done like a full, like it was probably been about like a good while since I've like sat down and watched every Jason movie. But I did at one point, and I've seen him like multiple times over the years. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I'm kind of like an outsider looking in almost, even though I've seen it. If I, it's kind of like Halloween, right? Like if I was that invested in the series, maybe I would not, like this movie so much. But since I'm not like crazily invested in Jason, that like I do like this movie as like a standalone movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so far apart from watching the other movies that I kind of get the disconnect in between of like how it relates to 4 and 6. But I don't know, man. Kind of like we talked earlier, like the more crazy and more B aspect a movie gets, the more I enjoy it. So apropos for it being a new beginning, it starts, like you guys said, it kind of starts that whole new trend of like bringing in more boobs, more kills, everything that I love to watch. And it was enjoyable. I mean, even though like, right, Jason wasn't in it, you wouldn't know that until the very end, really.
Right.
The
music's definitely telling you that Jason is in it.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's another like great film with good music for me. But there's a lot of points like Robbie made. Like I think for me, I am one person that like, even though if it's like my favorite franchise, I will buy anything and everything related to that franchise. Even if I don't necessarily think it's the best, I'll still buy it. I'll still watch it. Maybe I just won't watch it as much, but it's still in my collection. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even with like Jason, right? Like Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Halloween. There's even like my Evil Dead franchise, man. Like each movie gets progressively more for me, like into that B horror realm, right? Like they kind of like hit that kind of, there's a comedy part, there's a horror part,
As DJ's saying in the chat, they're more watered down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, maybe for me, like at this age specifically, right? Like there's not really a film that's gonna like frighten me. Maybe like when I was younger, that'd be something different to where maybe they'd have like a different nostalgic kind of thing for me. But like today, you know, that's not what I'm looking for, you know what I mean? So maybe that's why, you know, the first like movie or two in the Jason franchise kind of lets me down. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed this one. I thought there was a lot of great kills, a lot of good tits. But yeah, overall, man, it's interesting, you know, to be brought in on this specific one. But I did really enjoy watching it. I watched it yesterday. I also don't get a lot of chances to watch a lot of horror movies anymore, you know, with a kid.
I feel that, brother.
And you know, and with my work schedule, I go to bed really early, so it's like, you know, they're getting into bed when I'm getting into bed, so it's like I can't even stay up. Because before him, I used to like come home and I'd probably watch like, you know, 2 or 3 horror movies a day, and that was when like the main franchises. This is probably why I haven't like rewatched them all the time, is because I was continuing to search for newer and like other B horror movies to watch. So like some of those like mainstays would kind of take a back seat and I wouldn't watch them as often. But yeah, like now it's just like, you know, I'm more reading horror because I can get away with that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of like good points brought up about the movie.
What do y'all think about the idea that this is one of my favorite things? They wanted to give us this movie with the illusion of Jason Voorhees being there. So they gave us the mask, but different. I love that. I love that there's a different mask that Roy wears.
Sure. I love it too. I think I didn't like it at first when I saw it, but I've really grown to. It's really fun to make. It's like my favorite one to make. But aside from that, like I like it.
I think too, like, you know, he wasn't in the movie, but like if anybody says like Jason, immediately you think of a mask. So like in essence, like Jason is the mask to me. You know what I mean? So
right, and like someone said earlier, like all those dream sequences. Again, as a mask maker, there's a bunch of masks that only show up in this movie. There's a bunch of Jason looks that you only see in this. It has, I think, the most like different looks.
The one with the worms, dude. That's my favorite, dude.
That was a good shot.
Hey, you should give out the fucking mask giveaway tonight with live worms in the box, man.
I want to make
a free meal with a mask. Okay,
and a mud cake with little gummy worms. That'd be cool.
I do have like a working theory that part of the reason this movie's divisive is if they went with, because it's a bold red on Jason's mask, it's a bold red, and then with Roy's mask is a light blue. I think if they went with a bold black or something, like I think light blue was like and people felt that, and that's why it's like
a baby blue too.
Yep. You know? Yeah, exactly. It's like the shade of blue they picked. Like, I do see why people hate this movie. Like,
you know what that makes me think of? This is totally digressing a little bit too much, but black cop cars. Black outfits. Good guys wear blue. Like when we grew up, cops were powder blue. They're here to help. Yeah. Now they're fucking wearing black and they're fucking scary as shit. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I hate that. I had a conversation.
I hate it when the cops wear a fucking mask with the big fucking axe notch in the fucking side and the blood pouring down.
Can't stand that. All right, let's fucking do this. I don't know. Okay. Let's dive into some trivia. I do want to, you know what? Fuck it. Because I don't get this theory. The theory is too good. Before we get into the trivia, real quick, the theory I heard is that Tommy really is the second killer in this fucking movie. I love it. It really works. Okay, you either believe that where did Roy get the mask? Roy not only has a mask, but he has a hood, which is what the name is for what you wear underneath a Jason mask. And it's made to look like Jason looks. Right, Lincoln, to your point, Tommy is a mask maker. This is what he does. He's kind of his character is inspired by Tom Savini in real life. So you either believe that Roy maybe stole that from Tommy. There's no fucking way that Roy just went and got a mask and got a hood.
In my head canon, and if they made this movie today, there'd be like 20 minutes extra of footage of him on a line or at the library looking through newspaper fucking clippings, right? And seeing the mask and going and finding the closest mask he could, right?
Oh, I
Like
thought you were gonna.
we would have that in a modern movie. And that's
Yeah.
what I love about this movie from what 1985, right?
They could have had like an 80s montage with like the badass 80s music while he's
they
like.
should have done the Roy
making
training
masks and shit.
montage from Rocky 2, right? That's
Like
what they
he's
should have done.
training
They
and
should have done the
he's-
Rocky
He's
montage.
sharpened his machete. He's fucking smashing.
I almost think
the-
they could have had a scene when the guy gets axed at the beginning and the paramedics are there and Roy is there. They could have almost had a scene where Roy like confronts Tommy Jarvis being like, hey, you were the kid that was around when all those murders happened at Crystal Lake. You know, you're bringing bad juju with you, you know, whatever. And like,
And
I don't
I'm
know,
Roy.
that sets something up. Oh yeah, and I'm Roy. That would set something up. Like, I just feel like
If this
that might
was
have
the
set it
mod-
up better.
If
It
this
is-
was the
it
modern age, he would be looking up everybody in this like halfway house
Right.
online, but he didn't
Yeah.
have that. So like, how does he know about Jason or any of this shit? Right? He's up there in his
'Cause-
library going through fucking files.
You know
You
what
know
it
what
is?
I'm saying?
Then
Like,
I think.
like-
Okay, so
There's that one scene though with the mayor that's like, "This isn't Jason. Jason's dead," and you tell everyone. I'm
What are
like,
you-
"Wow, what an actor for like a
What are you,
scene."
crazy?
Yeah,
that
but,
dude's like, this is my one fucking shot.
yeah. I was like, this
That'd be
guy.
great.
I want to see what this mayor's doing after this. Probably a lot of cocaine.
I
Oh,
want
they-
somebody to.
They
to
say there was a
reference me
lot of
and then
cocaine
them
on
scream
set.
in
It was-
I'm sure
2026.
of it.
Yeah,
They all
it
look
seemed
coked
like
out.
that. It was definitely like the whole he taking the mask. I remember when I was watching, it's like, oh, I wonder how. I don't remember like why he chose to dress up as Jason. And part of me was like, oh, is he trying to frame Tommy?
That's
And then
it.
I love the
That's-
explanation like that they
I think
give.
that's
It's very
why, yeah.
limited. It's just like newspaper clippings. Look,
Yeah.
he had these
No,
newspaper
bro,
clippings,
did you see-
and his name was Roy.
did you think it was like weird that
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jake.
No, so I was gonna say it earlier. Do you think it was weird that like he had a present day picture of Joey and it's
Right.
all, like, it's not
There's
even
a
like
theory
a
for
kid
that.
or
Not
something,
that's not the weird part. The weird part is he had a present day photo of himself in his
Yeah.
wallet, dude.
Yeah,
Right?
that's some
This is Roy,
Yeah, that's
Roy,
tragic
and then
shit.
this is his son.
It's
Like,
a
that
picture
doesn't
of
make
himself
this baby
and then
picture
this
because
kid.
That doesn't make sense.
I think that's like something that's lost to time because nowadays, you know, people don't have photos in wallets. So they're like, oh, that should be normal. That's like normal. But like if people in the 80s watch this, like, this guy's a psychopath. He had a picture of himself with
Dude, if
no
people
one and his
today
name is
watch it,
Roy.
And you're going through this dude's phone, and the
Dude's
first
got a
things you see
selfie of
are
himself.
selfies of yourself and
His,
shit.
his home screen is a selfie of himself.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's psychotic.
That's very
Yeah.
true. That's very true to the modern age.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guarantee you, if I grabbed Verno's fucking phone and I had it in my hand, I knew the password, I would see 5 photos of him until I saw a photo of his kid.
No, get the fuck out of Dodge.
Just because they were for thumbnails or some shit, right? Like that's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
The theory is it's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi theory. Obi-Wan Kenobi was always there on Tatooine just watching Luke from a distance. They're protecting him in case anything happened. And that's what Roy had been doing. He just stayed nearby Joey, just keeping an eye on him, even though they never had contact. The other thing, last thing I'll say, we'll get into the trivia, is if you line it up, most of the people that get killed in the movie are people that had done something wrong, not to Roy, but to Tommy. You've got the guy that drops him off there originally, the bald guy that gets killed outside the restaurant. He's a dick to him. The guy that gets killed out there in the woods, banging the chick, he's a dick to him. He steals his mask and shit. Other people are just there like, oh, he saw me. They got to cover up his tracks and shit. So it really does.
We
work.
know that they by the end of this film, and what Wes said about the director of this film was thrown into this fucking movie, right? And he did the best job he could. He says what they told me was make a movie without Jason to set up Tommy as the killer, right? That's what they do by
Right.
the end of this film. They backtrack that, dude. Like
Right. This theory
completely.
doesn't work after 6. This is just the theory is just
Yeah.
like that was the plan for this movie, then they went away from it.
But it was, but like, goddamn, can we have a slasher franchise that actually has balls? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
continuity.
I'm not saying having balls by part fucking 12. You know what I'm saying? Where
Part one.
like we're talking about a franchise, by the way. Like, yeah, they could. There's this whole idea that Tommy's supposed to be the next killer. That makes sense to me. I would have loved to seen that displayed, or seen the connection between Tommy joining up
Right.
with forces
Yeah.
with Jason.
Yeah.
It's just
But
like
then when you
it's
do
like
like
Daniel
it's-
Harris
it's-
after Halloween 4. They don't follow
It's
through.
it's sort of the
love that
cycle
you
of
said that
trauma
because-
with Jason's mom, then Jason, then Tommy. That would
I
have been a
love that-
cool
I
like
love that you
recurring
said that.
theme.
because apparently Halloween 4, those guys didn't watch like Jason Part 5.